secret side of me I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. So stay away from me, the beast is ugly. I feel the rage and I just can't.
Hello and welcome to the Post and Cocky Midseason Report. I'm your host Jeremy Sullivan here alongside lead analyst Ryan Mace. Now before we get started with the analysis of the first half of the season for the Gamecocks, they traveled to Starksville last week and it turned out to be a battle on the road.
Yeah, the Cowbells were out on Saturday as the Gamecocks played their first road game since week 2 against Georgia. Quarterback Tyler Russell got the start for Mississippi State and he hit Chris Smith on a 19-yard touchdown, putting the Bulldogs up 7-0 late in the first quarter. Carolina answered back in the second quarter. Bruce Ellington hit Marcus Lattimore with a 16-yard pass out of the Wildcat formation on a key 3rd and 7 to keep the Gamecocks drive alive. Lattimore capped South Carolina's 80-yard drive with a 4-yard touchdown run, tying the game at 7. The Gamecocks got some help from the defense on Mississippi State's next drive as Tyler Russell was picked off by Reggie Bowens, giving Carolina a chance to take the lead. South Carolina squandered their red zone opportunity as Connor Shaw threw too high for Alshon Jeffrey and his pass was intercepted in the end zone by Jonathan Banks for his 5th interception of the season. Carolina's last drive of the first half ended on Shaw's 2nd interception of the day on a pass intended for Demir Bird down the sideline, and the game went into halftime tied at 7. Tyler Russell completed to Chris Smith in the 4th quarter on a pass that was called complete on the field, reviewed and controversially upheld, giving Mississippi State a key first down. Malcolm Johnson made a big catch on another key 3rd down situation, giving the Bulldogs 32 yards and a first down as Mississippi State's drive ended with a field goal, making it 10-7. Carolina comes right back. On 3rd and goal, Shaw hits Alshon Jeffrey on a jump ball in the end zone. Jeffrey outjumped the 2 defenders for the catch, putting the Gamecocks up 14-10. Mississippi State's final drive came to a close as Russell was picked off by a diving DJ Swearinger late in the 4th quarter, ending the Bulldogs' chances to win, as the Gamecocks go on to win 14-12 in Starkville. Just as I expected, this was a tough, hard-fought road win for South Carolina. Shaw threw the 2 picks early in the game, but he was able to come up big when it mattered most, going 8 for 8 on the final scoring drive, and the defense was able to seal it late with the interception. And this is a huge win for the Gamecocks as they move forward.
Although the Gamecocks did come away with the victory, they lost a key player in Marcus Lattimore in the second half when he went down due to a knee injury. This could prove costly for the Gamecocks as they move forward.
Yeah, initially he was diagnosed with a knee sprain, but an MRI revealed that he has a torn ligament in his knee and some cartilage damage, and he's going to miss the rest of the 2011 season. Lattimore has been a true leader on and off the field ever since he stepped on the gridiron for Carolina, and his on-field production will be greatly missed. He'll finish the season with 818 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. Freshman Brandon Wilds is in position to carry most of the work for the Gamecocks at running back, with Kenny Miles still nursing a sore wrist, and Bruce Ellington may get some looks from the running back position as well. This is a big loss for the Gamecocks moving forward, but it'll be interesting to see if they're able to rally as a team now that they've lost their best offensive weapon in Marcus Lattimore.
And with Lattimore down, the Gamecocks are going to need to stay focused throughout the second half of the season as the SEC East title race tightens up.
Yeah, the race for the SEC East has pretty much been narrowed down to South Carolina and Georgia, with Florida and Tennessee's recent misfortunes. Georgia, after 2 losses to start the season, have won 5 straight and are going into the bye week after a 33-28 win at Vanderbilt. One of Georgia's toughest remaining games will come after the bye when the Dogs take on Florida October 29th. They will also face Auburn at home on November 12th. If Georgia can win against Florida and beat Auburn at home later in the schedule, Georgia has a good chance to represent the East in Atlanta for the SEC title. Carolina has 3 big games remaining in SEC play, and they control their own destiny for the SEC East title. The Gamecocks will go at Tennessee after their bye week, and then arguably their toughest remaining game at Arkansas, and then back home for Florida to finish their SEC schedule. If Carolina and Georgia remain tied in the East, the Gamecocks hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Bulldogs, and they would represent the East in Atlanta for the SEC championship.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who represents the East in the SEC title matchup this year. As we hit the midway point in the season, it's time to hand out some midterm grades. How do you see the special teams, defense, and offense measuring up this year?
South Carolina is sitting at 6-1 right now, which is a pretty good record for most teams at this point in the season. However, the offense has played under their potential and has now lost their star running back in Lattimore. Shaw must lead this team in the second half of the year and will be throwing the ball a lot more without Lattimore. So I'll give the offense a C for their midterm grade. The defense has played at a level that rivals championship defenses of the past and has kept the Gamecocks in games throughout the struggles on the offensive side of the ball. They lead the nation in turnovers with 24 and are only allowing 19 points per game. The one place they have struggled is on third downs, as they allow close to 40% of third down conversions. The defense gets an A- at the halfway point. Special teams has been decent so far for Carolina. Jay Wooten has made 4 of 6 field goals, with all attempts coming from beyond 40 yards. The special teams unit has allowed 2 blocked extra points, and the punting has been suspect so far. The kick returning game hasn't been consistent, and outside of a punt return touchdown by Ace Sanders in Week 1, the punt returns have been mediocre as well. I give the special teams a C+ for their midterm report. With the Gamecocks sitting at 6-1 and in the thick of the SEC East race, I give the team an overall B at this point in the season.
That's certainly not a bad grade for the team overall this year through 7 games, but I know the coaches are still striving to make their team just a little bit better. There's always somewhere they can improve. Now, if you had to say one player this year who's made the biggest impact for the team, who would you say that is?
Well, my player of the year so far this year is Melvin Ingram. He's been named SEC Defensive Player of the Week twice and has accounted for 3 total touchdowns, 2 on defense and 1 on special teams. His presence on the defensive side of the ball has been a huge boost to the play and morale of the Carolina defense. He currently has 5.5 sacks, 31 total tackles, and 8 of those going for a loss, and he has also registered 2 interceptions. With a player of Ingram's caliber on defense, the Gamecocks will have a strong chance to win games, with the defense keeping them in it for the rest of the season.
There's no doubt that Ingram's made his impact on the defensive side of the ball for the Gamecocks throughout the first half of the season. It'll be interesting to see how the Gamecocks finish out this year. Now, throughout the rest of the season in the SEC, there's some big matchups that could affect the rest of the college football season.
Yeah, starting with Alabama playing LSU coming up on November 5th. This game will decide the SEC West champion and could very well decide who goes on to win the national title. Whoever comes out on top of this game will definitely be in great shape to win it all. Another big game in the SEC is going to be Arkansas at LSU coming up on November 25th. If LSU prevails against the Crimson Tide on November 5th, Arkansas will have the opportunity to derail LSU one final time before the SEC championship game. Look for this to be a great game down in Death Valley. Another big matchup that's always a big rivalry is going to be Alabama at Auburn, also on the 25th. This game doesn't need much explanation, but if Alabama is undefeated heading into the Iron Bowl, Auburn could be that last trap game that could end Alabama's hopes at a national title in this storied rivalry game.
Promises to be an enticing second half of the season, as many teams are still in the hunt for the national championship title. Well, that'll do it for the Post and Cocky Midseason Report. You can always catch us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. I'm Jeremy, he's Ryan, and we'll catch you next week as we preview South Carolina's road game against Tennessee.